Okay, so guys, in this video, what we're going to be discussing now is the major scale. So, the major scale I would consider it to be the most important scale we're going to use as musicians or bass players, because, like, for me, I see the major scale as like the foundation scale. So, like, I see it as like every other different scale that is used in music is kind of derived from the major scale, because once you kind of have an understanding of the major scale, it can help you to understand the different scales that are within music. So this is the main one we're going to use, and also with songs that you're going to learn and so on, they probably all utilize the major scale to some extent. So that's why we are going to learn the major scale. And yeah, we've even like simple songs 100% major scale and so on and so forth. So like the major scale, some say has the characteristic of like having like a happy sound, a joyful sound, whereas some other scales may not have such a happy or joyful, pleasant sound. But yeah, I mean, each to his own. But I don't really say scale sounds like anything. I just play it in it. Yeah. So now for the notes of a major scale. Now each major scale has 7 notes, and for all the musical notes which I told you in the last video, so there are 12 of them. So that means there are 12 major scales. Now each major scale follows a certain, no, I'll say like the major scale in general, it follows a certain ascending pattern, and that pattern is dictated by tones and semitones, right? So for the major scale, the ascending pattern is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay? So tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So that's the pattern that the major scale follows. So to make this nice and easy for everyone to understand, I'm going to demonstrate to you with C major scale. So if you've done the work from the previous lesson, kudos to you, and you would have remembered that this is C. This is C right here. So now, if we're going to do the C major scale, remember we said it's tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. But even before we do that, let me just remind you that one semitone on the bass is 1 fret. So every single fret you see is like 1 semitone, right? So from wherever you are, so if you're on C and we're going to C sharp, for example, that goes up by 1 semitone. Or if you're in C and you want to go down to B, that's a semitone descending. So a semitone could be ascending or descending, whichever one you decide to do is up to you. But one tone is the equivalent of 2 semitones. So one tone is 2 frets from wherever you're starting from. So if you're starting from C and you want to go a whole tone in ascending, so that's 2 semitones. So the first semitone, second semitone. So a tone from C, 1 semitone up, will give us D. If we take a semitone down, so that's 2 frets. So C, B, A sharp. So a tone from C in descending order is going to give us A sharp. So I thought I'll just tell you that quickly, which would help you now. So tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So from C, our first tone is going to take us to D. Our second tone is going to take us to E. Then a semitone from E, so that's 1 fret, remember, F. Then we have 3 tones now. So F to G is tone 1. G to A is tone 2. Then A to B is tone 3. Then we have a semitone. So I'll go over that again. So from C, then remember we have a tone. A tone is 2 semitones. So that's 2 frets. 1, 2. Then Remember, this D is the same name as the following string, so that's why you can see that. Okay, so if I was to do C, then this D is here, I can play the same D here, then that's why my 3, which is another tone, 1 fret, another fret, so that's how I got there easily. So tone 1, take it to D, tone 2 will take it to E, then tone, semitone, so that will take me to F. Then we have a tone now, so F to G, 2 frets again, G. Then from G to A, remember this G is the name of this string, G. So G, a tone from G to A, so first semitone, second semitone, so we have A here. Then another tone from A to B, so A sharp, B. And then from B, we have a semitone to C. So that's the ascending pattern that every single major scale has. So if you choose a different major scale, so let's say a major scale like G, for example. So if you can remember, G is the 3rd fret on the E string. So if you're going to do a major scale from here, it's going to be the same thing. So G, a tone from G is going to give me A. A tone from A is going to give me B. A semitone from B is going to give me C. A tone from C is going to give me D. A tone from D is going to give me E. A tone from E is going to give me F sharp. Then a semitone from F sharp is going to take me back to G. So that's that. So now that we've done that, now we're gonna try and practice different shapes. So the first shape of C is from, if you use the 3rd fret to the 5th fret. So this is shape 1. So that's the first shape, what I taught you before. So when you start from here, then we have another shape from, if you start from here. So if you use the 3, 5, 7, 8th fret of the E string, so there's a C there. So if you start from here, it's going to be like the same shape. So 1, 2, 3. So that's how we have that. And then you can also start use it from a different fretting finger. So now we can play from this C, and then let's see where we go. So 1, 2, no, sorry. So yeah, shape wise you can mess around and try and do things in a different order if you want. So sometimes for me personally, a descending order that I like to do sometimes, depending on the sound I'm looking for, is I may start from a C here, then I'll end up here. So I'll show you how I do that. So or I do it this way. So if we were to ascend in the same kind of pattern, it would be okay, so that's that. So guys, what I would like you to do is there's going to be a help sheet to this, so check the link to that in the description. I mean, I've given you all the notes for all the other major scales, so what I'd want you to do is to figure them out on the bass and to put it into practice. I'm also going to show you how to practice the major scales. That's coming up in the next video. Stay tuned.